Love this podcast? Support it and sponsor today. Simply head to ozcastnetwork.com for details.
Davo, Tom and Callum for the podcast, which means we've got exclusive content for you.
Yeah, so obviously every day we plan the show, and a couple of days ago an article came out regarding a animal artificial intelligence that can basically tell you what your animals are thinking and saying. And so we trusted our lovely friend Callum over here to create a bit of a skit, which, you know, there's been a bit of drama behind the scenes, which we won't go into on the podcast.
Yeah, there's no need to go into it. The internet's been real crumbly here at the moment.
Oh,
The internet here has been
really
shocking.
crumbly.
yeah, I know,
Yeah.
but for not 48 hours. All right, anyway,
Yeah,
we
I have
won't
other work to do. I do other jobs than just like making
Okay.
little skits.
Okay, for the show. But yeah, so basically you created this skit and we didn't listen to it till this morning, and thank goodness we did before we aired it, because what happened, mate?
So the skit entails pretty much it's me with a deeper voice for Tom's dog. So it's meant to replicate Tom's dog Bentley talking to him, and then there's another one for your dog Ruby talking to you, Davo. So a bit of a high-pitched voice. You got Bentley with a deep voice.
Yep.
The one that caused the stir was Bentley, because there was a joke put in there of me speaking in the voice of Bentley talking to Tom.
And what was the gag? What was the joke?
The
Do
joke
it in the
was-
voice.
I didn't do the voice.
Do it in the voice.
I put an effect on GarageBand to make it deeper, but I can do a little bit of a voice. Pretty much, it's like, oh, he's bringing out the peanut butter again. I hate peanut butter Tuesdays. He's bought a big tub from Costco.
Which annoys me because Bentley loves peanut butter Tuesdays.
He gets around it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
Get your facts straight.
showed one of our bosses, Sophie, and swung it past her. I actually swung it past her yesterday, and then today she said, I've been thinking about it all night, and she's like, I don't think it's appropriate. And then I've sort of tried to bargain with her and, you know, asked a few other people, and then she's roped in a manager and another manager, and they've all come into me, swarming me with their black cloaks, and, you know, just saying, hey, bad things will happen to you if you air this one.
And what did
Yeah.
you say? You went up in protest and said what?
I said I'm being censored here.
It is kind of like the Illuminati censoring us, isn't it? The
It is a
higher
little
ups
bit.
have come and they've said, if you do this, something bad will happen.
Yeah, to my family, to
Yeah.
my kids.
And I mean, Tom has your back with this, but he was the one sounding like he was going to be a dog brooder.
I didn't get it.
Like,
though.
I don't get it.
I think the joke is so funny, and my argument is that you hear the peanut butter gag with dogs in the movies and the TV shows all the time, that it's not like that crazy or offensive. It's a funny, just simple
It's not
gag.
something that's super abrasive in this day and age, right? Everyone's heard this joke for millennia now.
Yeah, it's a bit outdated and worn, so I don't think it wouldn't be... If this joke would have been made in the 60s, and it's the first time someone's heard it, maybe they'd be like, oh, that's a bit full on.
Yeah, but
it's
you'd probably
been
have
a
to
re-
explain it more back then
Yeah,
as to what's
probably.
actually happening with the peanut butter.
It's been around a long time, though, so I think it should have been used. But I will tell you, there is one little filthy thing I kept in there that I haven't
Told anyone about?
anyone, so
Yeah.
it
Oh
can't
my
be censored.
God.
Well done. You've learned from the best. It's the only way
Jeez.
we get away with stuff
That's
here.
it.
Oh, well, tune in tomorrow, see if we've got a show on Friday.
Let's get into the podcast.
You're listening to Davo, Tom and Callum, the podcast.
Of course, in spirit of Wind Back Wednesday, we're winding it back to our childhoods, and look, it's a minefield of trauma, but we're going to try and steer clear of that and head with something a bit more fun and lighthearted.
Thank God. Finally.
There's a National Toy Hall of Fame over in New York State in America, and basically it's a museum there, and they have all these toys from our past, these great heavy hitters that were incredible, and every year they induct some toys from our past into the Hall of Fame. And some from this year include Cabbage Patch Kids, Nerf guns, baseball cards, and a Fisher-Price corn popper.
Oh, yeah.
Which is like a little push toy for kids. And one of the toys that did get left out of there was actually Ken doll.
Really?
Ken doll.
Yeah,
I thought Ken doll would have racked in the purchases since it came about.
Well, you'd think as well, because of Barbie movie this year,
Yeah,
that this
definitely.
would be his time to shine. But unfortunately, Ken did not get a Guernsey.
Oh, that's upsetting.
But it did get us thinking about these toys from our childhood, these ones that were so popular and people went nuts for them. Like, what did you guys play with when you were I don't know, 3 weeks ago.
Yes, our toy room.
Your toy room, yeah.
Toy room is our office here at Fresh when we go in for little breaks. I reckon one of the more simple ones that was so fun. Do you remember the little, you get a little Spider-Man one and it'd be a sticky thing that you just throw against the wall?
Oh,
and
yeah.
that was the entertainment value, that it would just stick to things and then it would crawl down the wall.
Yeah,
great
that's
fun.
some good gear. One of the ones that I loved when I was a kid was a Furby.
What's that? It's my Furby. Furby loves your lavender.
So, Furby was massive when we were kids as well.
Really?
So it had a
Yeah.
big, long run. I don't know if it got regenerated kind of thing when we were kids or if it just stayed popular.
See, I never got to have one because they were too expensive, but I was obsessed with them and I thought they were the coolest things ever.
You would be obsessed when you saw the ads and it would blink.
Yeah.
When the Furby would blink, you're like, oh my God, this thing's alive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I got my sister's hand-me-down Furby.
Oh, nice.
But
It's a bit raggedy. Been run over by a car a few times.
I did ruin it in the end, but it just never had batteries in it, so it was just this random little fur toy that sat in my
Just
room.
a really
Never used it.
docile Furby.
Yeah.
One of these other toys that I think were popular in the 80s and certainly the 90s, they were these weird whoosh sticks and they sounded like this.
I wanted to get this kid one of those tubes that when you turn it one way, it goes... And then when you turn it the other way, it goes...
Remember them?
Yeah, they were the
they were
best.
cool.
They were great. They were good fun.
It was mind-blowing as well. I remember one of the best toys was the big robot man, and it was like a big white robot, and you could control him, and he would pick up, balls or, things like that. And he had,
It's like a
different-
remote control.
Different actions, he could dance and
So I
things
didn't
like
have
that.
the man, but I had the T-Rex. It was like this robotic T-Rex that you could like remote control, walk around. Pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, when I was a kid, the robot sort of toys, there was this dog thing that used to do a backflip. That was pretty exciting. They were probably $120.
Wow.
What are some of the hottest toys from your youth, Adelaide? Hey, plenty of texts coming through. Somebody's texted in saying Beyblades.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Good times. We used to bring them to primary school, have battles.
This one here, Tickle Me Elmo, that was massive when I was a kid.
I reckon it still is
I feel like
massive, isn't it?
Tickle Me Elmo has been massive for so long. You've seen it around heaps. Someone said Tamagotchi.
When I was a kid, my dad used to take me to Cunningham's Warehouse, which was this really cheap shop there. Once another nostalgic little shop chat there, but that one they had the $2 Tamagotchis there.
Yeah,
they were
cool.
terrible, but that was the only ones that I was allowed.
Wait, how about Tarzos when you get it in the chip packets, like
Yeah.
in the Smith's chips?
Yeah. Hey, Beanie Kids and Bratz dolls.
Huge.
Yeah, they're a massive one. Hey, we're going to go to the phone lines. We got Craig from Parafield Gardens on the line. Craig, good morning. What was one of the hottest toys from your youth?
Yeah, g'day guys. And Davo. Yeah, the little Nintendo split screens, sort of in your pockets. One Christmas, Donkey Kong was a classic. Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
Great.
You had the either horizontal split screen or vertical. So yeah, they were all the rage, and a couple of my cousins got some as well the same Christmas. So we all got different games. So you could meet up and sort of play different games.
Was that split screen thing back in the day a bit of a mind blower that was never seen before?
Yeah, it was probably around when I suppose the early Ataris and stuff like that were coming out. So
Yeah.
something that you could play in your pocket, play in recess, get up early in the morning and try and get a top score.
Yeah, fun as.
See, my era of Donkey Kong was Donkey Kong Country on the Super Nintendo.
Oh, yeah.
And that was an absolute vibe.
I remember at our after-school care at my primary school, we had a GameCube, and we used to play Mario Kart at after-school care. It was awesome. Hey, we're going to go to Lana in Findon. Lana, what was one of the hottest toys from your youth?
I used to froth Betty spaghetti.
Oh,
Which
yeah.
they might be niche. It might have been more of a young girl thing. They used to be able to stretch their arms, but my text line was mainly like, I don't know how you could like a Furby.
Why?
Yeah, they are creepy, aren't they?
No, Furbies are like borderline satanic. I think they're brainwashing kids into like cooked stuff. Furbies are wild.
Well, you know what, Lana? It is interesting. You hear those stories of the Furbies just turning on in the middle of the night and start yapping away. So I don't know what the deal with that is, but it's a bit spooky.
No, it's not on, and I think most of them should end up in a bin
Lana,
quicker than the purchase.
Did you ever have a Furby?
I didn't personally because they're creepy as hell, but no, I have a really bad memory of doing like a homestay overseas. I got to do one in like the Netherlands, and my host sister had a Furby and it spoke Dutch.
Oh,
and
no.
if you think Furbies are creepy in English, try like cooked Dutch. It's not okay.
Satanic
It was awful.
Dutch.
Putting fear into children all over the world for just $79.99.
All right. I get older. The Davo, Tom, and Callum podcast stays the same age.
Rapping is probably, something that is meant to be left behind closed doors. I guess, if you're karaokeing in the car, maybe that's acceptable. Keep the windows up.
Yeah.
You really do try and keep it under wraps. You don't really do it in public too
Nice
much.
pun.
If you're not, yeah, exactly. If you're not, an expert at it or a genuine performer.
And that is tough because when you can successfully rap a verse of something and you know you can nail it, there's nothing you want more than to show other people. But there's also that shame and that social cue where you realise it's not okay.
Definitely, yeah. I think as well, I feel bad for amateur rappers because, even successful rappers have to go through that stage of being an amateur. And I think being an amateur rapper is more daunting than being just an amateur guitarist or something. There's something about the rapping when you're at that level where it just really comes off a bit cringy sometimes.
Yeah.
Everyone has to go through it if you want to be a rapper, I guess.
I mean, you and I watched about 15 minutes of a video of some amateur rappers out in the streets giving it a red hot crack.
Yeah.
And it was hard. It was a hard watch.
Snipes vs. Touche. Check
Have a
it
look.
out. It's on the streets of Melbourne, and it's a group that goes around sussing rap battles. But in recent news, there has been a new rapper that has come to light, and it is Leonardo DiCaprio. For his 49th birthday bash. It's his 49th birthday as of recently. And he's invited the likes of Kim Kardashian, Beyonce, even Jay-Z was there.
Oh, no.
So he's doing it in front of a pretty daunting crowd.
Now, Leonardo DiCaprio, a lot of respect for him. He's a great actor. He's been in some incredible films. But there's one thing we do not need to see Leonardo DiCaprio do, and that is rap some Wu-Tang.
Yeah,
Is he rapping an original piece or is he taking a bit from a song?
He's rapping Wu-Tang Clan.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so
okay.
once again, very respectable rappers that he's really bitten off more than he can chew, I reckon.
Well, we've got a bit of audio here of Leonardo rapping. Let's hear it.
Nah.
Apparently the reception around the ground was, this isn't great. There's not much more to say. It was just a bit awkward. Jay-Z threw his drink down.
Callum, I reckon you're pretty close to giving this a red hot crack at one of your parties.
It could happen. It could happen after a few
2024
drinks.
is the year.
Yeah, it could happen after a few drinks, for sure.
I mean, yeah. There was a time Prince Harry rapped as well.
Oh, no. Do you have it?
Now, this is a story all about how my life got flipped, turned upside down. Now, take a minute.
Sit right there.
Sit right there.
I'll tell you how I became the prince of a town called
Bel Air.
Mate.
I love that out of all the embarrassing things in his autobiography, this one was so embarrassing he left it out. He doesn't want to talk about that moment at all.
You're listening to Davo, Tom and Callum, the podcast.
School myths and legends are always the most crazy things you'll hear around the schoolyard. And it's so weird because no matter how absurd, you always believe them. And it doesn't matter how many people have said it. It could be 1, could be 10, could be 100.
Yeah.
They're always getting your attention and you always end up kind of believing it.
Yeah, it's a bit of fun.
You hear plenty around the courtyard as well. A lot of the time about teachers.
Yes.
Rumors about teachers, affairs with teachers.
It's
yes.
so easy about teachers though, isn't it?
At my school, that was one of the big hot ticket items, is that there was an art teacher and a religious teacher, and we were pretty sure they were getting it on.
Wow, two different worlds. Imagine if it was a science and a religion teacher. That
Yeah,
would have been bonkers.
Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah. But we met up with a mate from school, from me and Tom's school. We went to CBC, and we met up with a mate a few weeks ago, and he sort of revised this whole rumour that we'd completely forgotten about. And it's a bit of a big myth, but it is one of the juicier ones. It's one of the better ones. And I'll make the controversial opinion and say I still believe it.
Do you still believe it? Yeah,
There's still a part of me that believes it.
There's no facts or proof to say it's not real.
And there's more people that testified that it is real to back it up.
Okay, what is this rumour?
So there's this one teacher who was rumoured to have a peg leg.
Peg leg.
Sorry.
So the idea that she has a wooden leg as opposed to a real leg.
So, and the way people would, like, grab you with this rumour would be like, have you ever seen her legs? And you start to think about it, and you're like, she didn't ever wear anything but a pantsuit or a very long dress. You never saw any sort of skin.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
And she's a nice little old lady, by the way. Keep in mind, I reckon she would have been in her late 60s, 70s or something.
I mean, the idea of having an artificial leg, obviously, it's something that happens in life, whatever. But the idea that she's actually got a peg leg, like a pirate style peg.
So it wasn't, like a prosthetic, modern age kind of leg. It wasn't a robo leg or anything cool. It was, it was a pirate leg made of wood.
And these rumours went on for a while, and then a couple years later, I remember somebody upped the ante and said they've seen her and seen the wooden legs.
I don't even
her in the classroom take off a wooden leg was what they said.
Apparently, what I get in my head, and I didn't even know the guy who said that he saw the leg, but what I'm guessing is that the way he describes it is that she just wanted to relax her wooden leg and put it on the table kind of thing. She just wanted to, mid-class, have a rest, sit back down in the swivel chair and put the leg back up on the table. But you know,
and then
what was
she
funny?
used her hook hand to write on the board and her parrot to go give out the worksheets.
Exactly. But you know what was crazy? I went on a school trip to Vietnam. And she came on that, right? She was one of the designated teachers on that trip. And one of the things that made me believe it was that, Vietnam, it gets up to, plus 35 degrees, in the 40s degrees. Never once did she wear shorts or a skirt.
Peg leg.
Sorry.
Who the hell in that weather is wearing pants constantly? I never saw her legs.
What rich-ass school did you go to that took you to Vietnam? Are you joking?
We had to
You're
pay
missing
our
the
way.
point.
I know I've gone past it, but that is insanity.
We helped in an orphanage. We're good people. But yeah, she was on the trip and I didn't see her legs, so yeah.
What was the school folklore, Adelaide? Did it have anything to do with teacher rumours? Was it something like a myth about the school was haunted or something?
Yeah, and excuse the pun, but I want to know if your story has any legs to it. Is it definitely true? Is there evidence behind it?
Somebody's texted in saying, there was a rumour at our school that if you stood in the bathrooms and said Hail Mary 3 times, the girl that passed away 100 years in the bathroom would appear behind you. Is that meant to be Bloody Mary?
Yeah, it's like that sort of thing, yeah.
Someone said at our high school, our art teacher was a witch and would use her witch magic on her favourite students so they'd do good enough with their assignments to get A's.
What?
Black magic for your good grades, good ATAR.
This one here, 2 of our teachers were having an affair. They were both married, but every time they would do a crossover with the classes, you could cut the tension with a knife.
Yeah,
That's saucy.
And we had one of those at our school. It wasn't an affair, but it was just 2 teachers hooking up.
We had a couple of those, actually, throughout our schooling career.
They all turned out to be real.
Yeah, they did.
This one is so funny. Rumour that this bloke in our year 12 was actually 30, not 18. Compelling evidence that I can't remember would suggest he was.
I love that you can't remember the evidence, but that's what it is with school myths and rumours. You might not remember all the evidence, but there's a part of you that just knows it's true.
Hey, we're going to head to the phone lines. We got Jamie from Goola on the line. Jamie, what was the school folklore?
Hi, guys. So I went to a really fancy high school in North Queensland, and the founder of the school, there was like a statue out the front of it, and rumour had it that at night she would cry tears of blood. So me and my friends would sneak out and try and watch the statue cry blood.
And did it?
Yeah, did it ever?
Well, my friend said she saw it, but I don't believe her anymore.
I feel like the blood would leave a residue, though. You'd have to. You can't. It's not like a glimpse, look away, and then it's gone.
No.
Would have to be
Because
there
it
for a
was like,
bit.
it's like old metallic gold. It's really dark. Like it falls right off.
Yeah, right.
Okay. Well, I like to believe it's true.
All right.
I reckon Jamie was into some botany back in the day.
From fancy Queensland to Gawler. We have this one here. This text cracked me up. It says, there was a teacher at my school nicknames the parent eater, like man eater, because rumour had it he'd flirt with all the mums.
Oh, Davo, Tom and Callum podcast. Oh, Davo, Tom and Callum podcast.
I'll have what she's having.
Davo, Tom and Callum, the podcast.
There's nothing better than a bit of friendly competition until it's not friendly and then everyone gets mad. And there's been a study over in North China that has revealed that women are more competitive with strangers than they are with their partners. However, in many cases, it turns out that women still won against their male partners.
Right.
Which has led scientists to believe that men are adopting the old happy wife, happy life scenario and letting their spouses win.
Yeah, okay.
Which I think is quite interesting because I think the lads that I've hung around, I cannot imagine any of them letting me win or letting a partner win.
Yeah.
There's no way. And you know, there's someone else that doesn't let their partner win, and that is one of my favourites, DJ Fisher. This is him playing Uno with his wife.
Mate, if you have double fives, you can put that down on a five.
No, it goes 1-1, 1-1.
No.
So if I had
doubles,
the
you
same
get.
card, I could put all my cards
If you
down.
got doubles, you can put doubles.
No, it's not snap.
Yeah, there's a bit of an ongoing series happening on their Instagram where they both are playing Uno and furious at each other.
People arguing about Uno actually makes me like twitch and feel like sick in the stomach because it just reminds me of, you know, years of just like seeing people argue and stuff. Like, it is a horrible game to be around.
It certainly is. And when I said about, you know, the lads I've hung around, I mean you guys.
Oh, I thought you
I
meant,
cannot
you meant
imagine
dudes you're dating and
There's a bit
stuff.
of that, but that doesn't happen often. I mean, but I'm around you guys quite often.
Quite a bit, yeah.
You two are very competitive people, and I cannot imagine you stepping out of the way to let your partner or, I reckon, children as well.
No, okay, so that's a big call. I wouldn't let my partner win in a game. I would try really hard to beat them.
Yeah.
A kid, if the kid's an idiot and if they're like sub 5 years old and they don't know what they're doing, I would let them win in Go Fish or something. You know, I'm not gonna, you know, try and
While
smash
calling them an idiot.
Yeah.
I would say if with kids, it's dependent on the age and what the activity is. Like,
Yeah.
we were talking about it off air. If it's like a race or something where physically you're obviously going to beat the kid no matter what age until maybe they're about 18, 19. But if we're playing Go Fish and my kid's like 4 years old, yeah, I think it's important for them to know that they need to lose at that age.
Yeah, okay. I think that's such a weird one. I do agree with the running race or something because, you know, what maniac would be, you know, 40 years old outrunning their toddler?
Yeah,
You'd have to be a psycho. One.
I'm more inclined to let the partner win rather than let the kid win.
Yeah, okay.
I reckon.
No, I probably I think Go Fish. Nah. Yeah, I'm letting them get away with it.
I mean, we've got to address what's going on here. Davo's having an absolute fit on it.
I don't think we can.
We can't let her win this one.
Davo's giving the whirl of the finger, being like, cut it.
You're listening to Davo, Tom and Callum, the podcast.
Guys, we've got to have a chat about the franchise gyms.
Yeah, they've got the mowing, they've got the dog wash.
You know what? I'm having a look at the moment. They've got like 20 different things now. There's the gym's hazardous material. There's one.
Wow. It really blows your mind, doesn't it? They really have capitalised on everything, but I guess there's still more to conquer.
Well, I didn't realise the way it all started was Jim Penman, who was the founder of the place, started Jim's Mowing when he was doing his PhD in history.
Thank God. I love that when a company actually has the person who started it is the actual person on the logo.
Yeah.
It's always gutting when you find out, you know, like if it's, I don't know, Bob's like antique shop and you go in there and they're like, Bob doesn't actually exist. It's a random name. Really, really gutting.
And that's the thing. Jim's has got him as the logo, so he is the face
That's
of it
the
all.
guy.
He's a bloke with beard. He's got a bucket hat on. He's got a shirt ready to go for a hard day's work.
Yeah, and there's so many different services, and they all sort of fall around the same sort of, you know, just doing handiwork, all that kind of stuff. And recently, and very recently, as in just yesterday, they have started a new franchise in the gym's world. Now, if I had to give you one guess, what would you think it would be? Something along the similar lines?
Jim's Stobie pole installations. Seems really right up the alley.
Jim's pool boy.
Okay. Well, it's Jim's Beauty.
Hey, Jim's Beauty. You know what's crazy as well? With Jim's Beauty, that they're still using the classic Jim look. They're still with this Jim logo with the man with the beard and the hat. You wouldn't suspect a burly-looking bloke like Jim to be doing your
Come
nails.
to your lash and brows.
Yeah, just having a look at it now. They do facials, lash and brows, nails, waxing, teeth whitening, spray tans.
I love how they have a mobile waxing service as well. They'll come to you.
So this
like
is
a dog groomer. It's the same concept, I'm assuming.
It is. Do you reckon they park out the front of your house and you hop in this little tin mobile thing and get waxed by them like a dog? Or
Now, I don't know about you guys, but are you really going to be booking big burly Jim to come do your beauty services?
Hey, don't knock it till you try it. I don't know if you've heard about Daryl's bloody clothing hire, but he's next. Who else could be out there?
Yeah, I mean, I just don't know about all this, eh? Jim come doing your spray tan.
Jim, hop in there, mate. It's just shooting you down with a fire hose spray gun.
Gary's yoga.
Love this podcast? Support it and sponsor today. Simply head to AuscastNetwork.com for details.